Good morning, all of you. Myself, Vivek Mani, would like to take the lecture on the strength of material, second year BTech, semester 3. So, in this lecture, we will see the Hooke's law for the two as well as the as well as the three-dimensional stress system. But before we going to detail of that Hooke's law, which is applicable for the two as well as the three-dimensional force system or the stress system, we have to overlook the two three point again, that what is meant by the Poisson ratio. Poisson ratio, as already mentioned, that lateral strain divided by linear strain is nothing but the ratio called as the Poisson ratio, which is denoted by the mu, or it is denoted by the 1 upon n. So E lateral divided by E is nothing but called as the Poisson ratio. Volumetric strain, again we consider E, which is denoted by the small e small v, and having the ratio of delta v divided by v. Delta v is nothing but change in volume divided by the original volume. And how to calculate the EV? There is another one formula we have to consider. EV is equal to calculate Ex plus Ey and Ez separately, means the strain in the x direction, yeah, strain in the y direction, and strain in the z direction. We have to consider separately and calculate by using this formula. We can calculate the volumetric strain. So for that, we have to consider the uniaxial loading. Uniaxial loading means nothing but the one type of the loading coming from that only one direction. Suppose these two figures, which indicate the capital P, which is acting on the rectangular as well as the circular cylindrical nature of that solid, and is having the pull in nature and acted along the x-axis, and which increased the length of that body. So such type of the example let we see here, and it is already considered into the previous lecture. Only we have to see, as there is a only x axis oriented force, which is known as a capital P. So due to that, there is only creation of the sigma x. Sigma x will be get generated, and sigma y sigma z is equal to 0. With respect to that, the change in volume divided by original volume, there is a small derivation. There is a small derivation we need not to consider here. So take the EV directly is equal to sigma x divided by E into 1 minus 2 me into the bracket. Okay, so this is the EV. Like that, the EV for the circular specimen is the same formula. Delta V divided by V is nothing but, instead of the sigma x divided by E, here only we can consider the EX. So when we take the EX or when we take the sigma x divided by E, both are the same, and we have to multiply by using the factor which is having into the bracket 1 minus 2 mu. So already you learned into previous lecture. uh, then how to calculate the strain, volumetric strain. So let we see in the detail here. Okay, so uh, I repeat again. Okay, uniaxial loading here will get completed. Biaxial loading, here we consider how to calculate the EV. As we know, the into the biaxial loading there are the two types of the force, sigma y as well as sigma x. These are the example we consider here. So sigma y as well as sigma x, by using these two force, there is a nothing but some effect will be happen into the body, and there is a change in shape and size. Then how to calculate? By using this formula we can calculate the EV. EV is nothing but the volumetric strain. Okay, means change in volume divided by V is nothing but called as the volumetric strain. So take the direct formula is nothing but sigma x plus sigma y. Because there is a no sigma z, means there is a no pz is present, so sigma z is equal to 0. So we need not to consider sigma z separately. Sigma z is equal to 0. So by using this, we have to directly take in account that sigma x plus sigma y divided by E into 1 minus 2 mu, we can get the EV. So please write down this formula. Okay, in triaxial loading. So by considering such type of the formula, we will try to solve the problem uh, which is known as the biaxial loading, which is known as the triaxial loading, as well as the uniaxial loading into the next lecture. Okay, so please write down this formula. The EV for the triaxial loading, as there is a presence of sigma x, sigma y, and the sigma z. There are the three types of the force are acting in manner, and with respect to that, what is the EV? EV is nothing but delta V divided by V. So sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z divided by E, we can get the EV, but we can get nothing but the strain. And when we considering with respect to that volumetric strain, we have to multiply such a value or the amount of that value by with respect to the factor, which is nothing but called as 1 minus 2 mu. So by multiplying the 1 minus 2 mu as a factor to sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z divided by E, we can get the EV easy. Okay, so you should have to keep in mind that how to calculate the EV for uniaxial, biaxial, and the triaxial. So let us see in detail the Hooke's law. As we know, when the body possesses or the body is subjected the elastic deformation, means the after regaining after removing the external force on that body, say, then the force will get regain its original shape and size. Okay, so the deformation, elastic deformation should be is equal to 0 after the removing of that external agency or the force. So at the time the stress is directly proportional to the strain. So Young's modulus is equal to stress divided by strain. We can get the modulus of elasticity. And such a law is produced by the mathematician which is known as Hooke's. So we have to consider the Hooke's law for the two as well as the three-dimensional stress system. Then how to calculate? So please write down the formulas for that two-dimensional stress system. Please draw this figure. As usual, there is a two type. There are the two types of the force, sigma x and the sigma y, which is active in manner, and take the positive signs, means the pull in nature in both side. For our simplification purpose, when it is having the compressive in nature, then we will take the vice versa sign of that, means the for the push purpose we have to take sigma y as well as the sigma x in negative in manner when both sigma y as well as sigma x are in compressive manner respectively. So here for simplification purpose, sigma x, sigma y both are considered as a pull in nature. So take sigma y, sigma x is in positive sign. So how to calculate Ex? As I already told you that to calculate in the EV, so sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z divided by E into 1 minus 2 mu factor, we can calculate the EV. Means the EV is nothing but having the combination of sigma x, y, and z. Means before we going in detail, volumetric strain is nothing but called as EV is equal to Ex plus Ey plus Ez. So when we calculating Ex, Ey, Ez directly, then there is a need not to calculate the sigma y, sigma x divided by E, etc. So by calculating the Ex, Ey, Ez, we can calculate the directly EV. Okay. So how to calculate the Ex? Let we see here. There are the three formulas for the two-dimensional stress system. You have to write in your notebook. Okay. So do not get confused. Please write it in a very well manner, as there is a presence of sigma x, as there is a presence of sigma y. When there is a presence of sigma x and there is need to calculate the Ex is nothing but strain along the x-axis. At that time, sigma x divided by E we have to kept in mind, means sigma divided by E we can get the strain. Means Young's modulus is equal to stress divided by stress. This is the Hooke's law we have to use it. But for the two-dimensional stress system, how to consider the Hooke's law, how to modify the Hooke's law is nothing but, as we consider the linear strain along the x-axis, at that time we have to consider the sigma x along the x-axis divided by E in positive nature. But with respect to that, there is a reduction into the lateral dimension along the y-axis. As there is a reduction, as there is increasing the length along the x-axis, there is a reduction will occur along the y-axis, means the across the cross section of the body which is considered along the x-axis. So with respect to that direction, we have to consider the minus sign here. So also we have to consider first we have to consider sigma x divided by e, first point. Then also we have to deduct some amount of some amount of retardation in the form of mu into sigma y divided by e. So please write down into your notebook that when we calculating the ex for the two-dimensional flow system or the stress system, we can write the ex is equal to 1 upon e into bracket sigma x minus mu into sigma y. Similarly, ey, when the body is goes along the y-axis, at the time there is a reduction at x-axis will get occur. So with respect to that, sigma y minus mu into sigma x divided by e, we can calculate the sigma y. And there is another one important point we have to consider in your mind, that as there is a no sigma z will be appear, because sigma z for the two-dimensional system is equal to 0, but there is a always reduction will get happened. I repeat again, there is always reduction will get happen along the z axis also. Means there, if there is a reduction at a width, so there is also reduction will happen at the depth of that body along that length oriented force acting on that body. So when the body is acted by the force pull in nature along the x-axis, there is a reduction will be occur simultaneously along the with respect to the width as well as with respect to the depth oriented dimension of that body. So also you have to write the how to calculate the ez. This is the very important point you have to consider. Ez is equal to, as there is a absence of sigma or z, so nothing to worry that. How to calculate ez? There is a reduction, always reduction will be happen along the z axis, because there is a sigma x as well as the sigma y, both are active in nature. So take the formula minus mu into sigma y minus mu into sigma x into bracket divided by e. We can calculate the ez. So with respect to the figure concern, you have to write in your notebook for the two-dimensional system how to calculate ex, ey and ez. Okay. The next PPT we get consider for the three-dimensional stress system. Fortunately, there are the three types of the forces active or acted along the x and y and z axis in the pull nature, not the push nature. For simplification, let me consider the pull nature here. Okay, so please write down the formula which are related to calculate the ex, ey and ez as shown into this PPT. Okay, after drawing this figure, you have to calculate the formulas like the ex, ey and ez. Means when there is a concern of ex, we have to we should have to consider sigma x divided by e as a nothing but the positive manner, and both negative for the lateral dimension along the y as well as the z axis. Means sigma x divided by e minus mu into sigma y plus sigma z into bracket get complete divided by e. You can get the ex. So please write down in your notebook that ex is equal to 1 upon e into bracket sigma x minus mu into another small bracket sigma y plus sigma z bracket complete, and the big bracket get completed as shown into the figure. So similarly, sigma y, how to calculate sigma y? Sorry, ey. 1 divided by e is equal to sigma y minus mu into sigma x plus sigma z bracket get completed, and after that big bracket get completed as shown into the figure. Like that's e sorry z. As ez is nothing but the strain along the z direction, so we have to consider the stress along the z direction as a primary one. So take as a positive nature of that and deduct the sigma y and sigma x with respect to the mu concern with respect to the reduction into the dimension by using the negative sign here. So let me go. The next point is what is meant by the bulk modulus. Before going to the detailed definition of the bulk modulus or understanding the concept of that bulk modulus, you have to draw this figure in detail. So this figure which shows there are the three types of the force is active in manner, which is known as P x, Py and Pz, but in the form of the stress system it is known as sigma x, sigma y and sigma z are get active or acted on that body as shown into the figure, and having the dimension of that figure which contain nothing but called as the cube, which cube having the dimension small a into small a into small a, means a cube is nothing but the size of that cube. So you have to consider such point while considering the bulk modulus. Okay, so when a body is subjected to three mutually perpendicular stresses, I repeat again, when a body is subjected to three mutually perpendicular stresses as shown into the figure, sigma x, sigma y and sigma z, these are the three mutually perpendicular stresses and having the same intensity. There is a one condition we have to consider is that as there is a sigma x, sigma y and sigma z having the same intensity is equal to sigma, means sigma x is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. At the time sigma y should be equal to 10 Newton per mm square. Similarly, sigma z should be equal to 10 Newton per mm square also. So when a body is subjected to three mutually perpendicular stresses having the same intensities, then the ratio of a direct stress, the ratio of the sigma divided by their volumetric strain of that body, means divided by small e small v, we can get a constant. So such constant is known as bulk modulus. So I repeat again that when a body is subjected to three mutually perpendicular stresses having the same in magnitude, so the ratio of the direct stress to their volumetric strain is known as the bulk modulus, which is also known as a one type of the constant. So sigma x, sigma y, sigma z is equal to sigma size of cube is equal to a cube. Okay, and it is denoted by capital K and having the unit is equal to the Newton per mm square, Newton per meter square, or the Pascal we can say here. So here we understand the concept of the bulk modulus in detail when we learn the relation of the bulk models with respect to the Young's models, etc. So let we see next step. Okay, so how to calculate the bulk modulus mathematically, let we see here. It is denoted by capital K, is known as the bulk modulus. The capital K is equal to mathematically direct stress divided by the volumetric strain. Direct stress is denoted by only sigma or sigma, we can say this is the denotation used for the direct stress. And what is the volumetric strain? Small e small v is known as the volumetric strain. So with respect to the fluid mechanic concern, when we consider the fluid mechanics, there is a water pressure or the fluid pressure we have to consider. Another one formula is generated parallelly, so we have to keep in your mind that also K can be calculated by using the delta P divided by EV. Delta P is nothing but the change in pressure, we can say. So change in pressure divided by the EV or one type of the pressure, okay, divided by EV, we can calculate the K. Change in pressure or having the P is nothing but the pressure of that water or having the fluid which will get generate around the periphery of that body. So such pressure which having the property of acting in equivalent manner. So with respect to that, such K we have to consider into the fluid mechanics also. Okay, so again K can be equal to is equal to sigma V divided by EV, means sigma V divided by delta V divided by V. What is the delta V divided by V? Is nothing but the EV. EV is nothing but change in volume divided by original volume, is nothing but called as the volumetric strain. So how to calculate K? K is nothing but sigma V, means the direct stress divided by EV, or the change in pressure, or the pressure, we can say pressure element into the fluid mechanics concern. The P divided by delta V divided by E is nothing but the formula we have to use to calculate the capital K. The next point we have to see here, relation between the capital K and capital E, relation between the bulk modulus and the Young's modulus. So you should have to keep in mind that there is nothing but the always the examiner would like to ask the question for the 4 marks, 6 marks, 8 marks with respect to our syllabus concern is that to find the relation between the K, E and capital G, or to find the relation between the K and E only. So this is the nothing with small derivation we have to consider, small amount of nothing with the formulation which gives the 3 to 4 marks in your exam. Okay. So as we know that EV is nothing but basic formula is nothing but delta V divided by V is nothing but EV, change in volume divided by original volume. So it is nothing but called as the EV. And how to calculate the EV? By using the three-dimensional force system, three-dimensional stress system. EV is nothing but calculate EV is equal to EX plus EY plus EZ. So by using the modification of the Hooke's law, sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z divided by E into another one bracket 1 minus 2 is the factor, another one factor we have to multiply such factor to this amount of value, then we can get the EV. This is the formula. Modifier formula is generated into the three-dimensional force system, three-dimensional stress system. So here with respect to the bulk model concern, modulus concern, so with respect to the bulk model concern, sigma x is equal to sigma y is equal to sigma z is directly you take as a only sigma, or in terms of the sigma v, means sigma v is term as a nothing but the direct stress coming from the x, y and z axis. Okay, so as fortunately there are the sigma x, sigma y and sigma z are having the equal in magnitude. So instead of the sigma x, sigma y, sigma z, we can take the 3 times of sigma or 3 times of the sigma v as shown into this formula. Okay, so instead of taking the sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z divided by E, let we take the 3 times of the sigma v divided by E into another one bracket 1 minus 2 mu. Okay, then the next step. So we have to interchange the capital E and the small e as shown into this PPT. Capital E is a Young's modulus. We have to maintain the relation between the bulk modulus and the Young's modulus. So we have to try to make as a capital E is a representation of the Young's modulus. So we have to make the formula in terms of the bulk modulus. How to carry out such thing, let we see here. So as we can get the output up to 3 times of the sigma v divided by capital E into 1 minus 2 mu is equal to EV. So we have to interchange the capital E as well as the small EV, as a E is nothing but the denominator. We have to go interchange as a numerator here, as I'm demark here by using this cursor. So take the E as it is, and so EV as a numerator, opposite side is goes for the denominator as shown into this figure. The formula shows like that. So the formula will become capital E is equal to 3 into sigma V divided by EV into 1 minus 2 mu. the next point is what? As we know, what is meant by the K? K is nothing but sigma V divided by EV. Sigma V divided by EV is equal to K. So, by using such formula, here is a sigma V, here is a small EV. Sigma V stress, EV is a volumetric strain. So, stress, direct stress divided by volumetric strain is nothing but the capital K. So, three values remain constant here, and sigma V divided by EV get converted into the capital K as shown in this PPT. So what is the formula for that? Capital E is equal to 3 into K into bracket 1 minus 2 mu. This is the relation is in between the Young's modulus as well as the bulk modulus. So this is this can be used, this can be asked by the examiner into the we can say the exam that what is the relation between the K and E. So always kept in your mind that capital E is equal to 3 into K into bracket 1 minus 2 mu as shown into this PPT. Then later we see the next definition is known as the, what is meant by the shear models or the models of rigidity. So before going into detail of the shear modulus, let we have to recall what is the definition of the capital E. Capital E is nothing but the ratio of stress to strain, ratio of the sigma divided by small e linear strain is nothing but called as the Young's modulus. And what is the K? K is nothing but the ratio of direct stress divided by volumetric strain is known as the bulk modulus. So the next third point, important point is nothing but how to calculate the shear modulus. Sorry. So shear modulus or the modulus of rigidity is what? When a body is loaded within its elastic limit, the ratio of shear stress to shear strain is known as shear modulus or the modulus of rigidity. This is the simple definition of the shear modulus. Just like as a Young's modulus. In the Young's modulus, there is a relation between the stress to strain, linear strain, or the direct stress to linear strain is known as the Young's modulus. But here we consider the shear stress to shear strain is the ratio which gives the constant which is known as the shear modulus or the modulus of rigidity. It is denoted by capital C, capital G or capital N. So let you see the formula for that. Shear modulus, please write down into your notebook that shear modulus is equal to shear stress denoted by tau or small q and the shear strain which is denoted by the phi sign. Okay, so shear modulus is equal to shear stress divided by shear strain or the tau or q divided by phi. Tau or small q divided by phi is nothing but called as the shear modulus. And what is the relation between the capital G and capital E? Please write down in your notebook. And this is the nothing but the derivation between the capital G and capital E. We will consider into the next lecture. So please write down here that capital E is equal to 2 into G into 1 minus mu. Sorry, 1 plus mu. I repeat again, capital E is equal to 2G into bracket 1 plus mu is nothing but the relation between the Young's modulus as well as the modulus of rigidity. So in this lecture, we concluded that the Hooke's law, which is used for two-dimensional as well as three-dimensional system, and these are the constant formulas to calculate the Ex, Ey and Ez for the two-dimensional as well as the three-dimensional force system, which is given into this PPT as you already write into your notebook. After that, what is the bulk modulus? We seen into this lecture that bulk modulus is nothing but the direct stress divided by the volumetric strain ratio is known as the bulk modulus. Then mathematically K is equal to sigma V divided by uh, EV or delta P divided by EV. After that, relation between the K and E we learn into this lecture, and what is the shear modulus, let we learn into this lecture. Okay, so let we stop here, and in next lecture let we go for the what is the exact relation between the capital K, capital G and capital E, means what is the relation between the shear modulus, Young's modulus and the bulk modulus. Okay, thank you very much.